Oh my god.
Hey.
Joe
Thank
is
you
the
all.
GM.
Oh no, we're all mixed up.
No, we are all
I'm
mixed
already
up.
like, I'm blind. I'm nowhere.
Yep. All right.
It always happens.
While Alex moves us around and gets us back in place, thank you all for sticking with us through our break and through our unexpected window jumping. If you are just turning in right now, you missed our heroes dealing with the prison break. They managed to take out a fair number of the super criminals and keep them from escaping, but there were still several who did get away. They managed to save the lives of most of the guards, not all, but most. And we are now catching back up with the team in the aftermath of all of that. There are medics who are, rushing the scene. Some of the surviving guards are coming up to the heroes trying to express their gratitude.
I am going to when we put Trinity into her cell, I'm going to once again leave her with a note and with my phone number. It's the phone number to the tower with my personal extension, and then write a note underneath it saying, I'm probably going to be single in about a day or two. Call me.
Okay.
Oh no.
What was that? What was that?
What was what?
Why did you leave her notes? Do you know her? Why did you
Yeah,
beat up
we
your
fought her
own
before.
friend? What?
What was that?
Why did you beat up your own friend?
Well, she's not my friend.
Why are
Yeah.
you leaving her notes?
She's cute. Yeah, she's cute.
He's into bad girls and boys and whatever else.
And non-binary.
Seth's just gonna go, Carol. Don't. It's not. It's.
At minimum, that's a security breach. Can we just admit that part of this? But what are you doing? You said
see,
you
we
have
never-
a nice boyfriend. What is this?
Portal and I never thought about a security breach by giving our phone number to a villain.
Yeah. Yeah. No, of course you did.
We're their one phone call.
Well, like I said, he's my boyfriend for the next, 24, 48 hours.
You know what? Maybe he doesn't deserve you because this is ridiculous. And Carol just walks away.
Did you guys want to, question any of the prisoners before you guys leave the prison?
Yeah, I would like to. I would like
One
to.
of them said something about Fen or Finn.
Foe. We know about foe.
Oh,
Yeah, fuck ups of Emerald City.
Yes.
what?
I will actually ask 8-Ball to arrange that and
Okay.
be present because I want to let him, at least from my point of view, I want to let him sort of take the lead on that.
Okay.
Good cop,
Sure.
bad octopus.
That's my favorite game.
Good cop, space cop. Good cop, Eldritch horror cop.
I just realized that all of that speaking I was doing, I don't think the stream could hear me.
Oh.
No one said anything.
Yeah. I don't think.
My mic was on mute.
So the good news is your audio is pulled through from my headphones, not your microphone.
Oh, okay. So the mute only matters when I'm running
Yes.
the stream.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Cool. That's great.
Bowman could hear you.
Okay, good.
Cool.
Just
cool,
gonna be like a shadow behind Professor C. Just cranky.
All the cranky parents need to go away.
Oh, this is annoying.
I mean, they're not that annoying.
No, I'm getting ads, and it's not letting me resubscribe for my Prime subscription until tomorrow.
Oh.
But it's saying my subscription is over today.
It's because
Oh.
February's got a February.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, and 8-Ball says, well, do you want to do that now, or?
As soon as possible, yes.
Who do you want to start with?
Well, let's start with who's still conscious.
I mean, all of them are unconscious, but none of them were severely injured. So any of them could be roused with, basic medical treatment.
Okay. Has the Mars contingent arrived yet with the new dampeners and whatnots?
Yes, they're
okay.
They were actually already on site. They were just hadn't had a chance to fix them yet.
Okay.
They don't need as many of them right now.
Yeah. So who are our options? Who did we keep from escaping?
Tarman, Octoman, Mongoose, Trinity, Captain Oblivion, and Cannon.
What about the big earth, wind, and fire guy?
He sunk into the earth.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, literally the only people that we stopped were the people we've already stopped. That feels like strategery.
Some of the people we had stopped for previously did get away. Oh man, they're all so antagonistic, or probably kind of dumb.
I mean,
It can be both.
It's safe to assume that Mongoose is not going to be able to answer any questions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go talk to Captain Oblivion.
We'll start there then.
Okay.
I think Keone should talk to Lord Etheric.
All right, so Captain Oblivion with power dampener cuffs is put into an interrogation room. 8-Ball goes in, and which heroes are gonna go in as well?
I know Ethan wants to go, so.
Yes.
All right.
I'm gonna watch from the other side of the window.
Okay.
I'll be in the room with Ethan.
Okay. So Carol and Crucible are in the room with 8-Ball and Captain Oblivion.
And I will make sure to record the interaction through their communicators.
I mean, there's also video cameras in the room, but
I like my own copies
We're
of things.
still in the prison cells, correct? Like it's like a prison room, correct?
it's an interrogation room. But
Okay.
so yeah, he's seated there. The three of you enter. The rest of you who want to can watch from the window. And he looks up at 8-Ball and he's like, "Can't blame a guy for trying, can you?"
Shut up.
What's got your panties in a bunch?
I don't like spending any time with unrepentant murderers more than I have to.
And also no panties in his bunch.
Is this about that cop?
Yes, it's about that police officer you killed.
Did you know him?
I don't have to know somebody to know that killing somebody is wrong.
All right.
How'd you get in contact with Foe?
Didn't have to. They made the offer. They blew the hole in the wall, and the guy in the armor and the Aztec-looking dude both yelled out that this breakout was courtesy of Foe, and anyone who escaped with them and was willing to join up could be a part of the new ruling class of Emerald City. I mean, the chamber's in disarray, so, you know.
How do you know about the chamber?
What? What are you talking about? I mean,
Is he handcuffed to the table?
Yeah.
I'm going to pull the chain on the handcuff and slam his head into the table.
Ah! Ow.
Ethan.
Gione is watching through the double glass door because she knows that she'll stab somebody if they say something stupid.
Just
So
remember, he's not the strong one in this room.
Anyone involved in the underworld knew about the chamber. You might not know anyone personally involved, but you knew that if you did anything big enough, you had to watch out.
Let's change that.
The storm, man. There's too many of us now for the chamber to keep control of everyone.
As far as we know, the members of the chamber have all been unpowered people, yes?
You do not know that. The chamber was made up of supervillains from around the country who basically said Emerald City is going to be where we live and
The safe zone.
have a peaceful place to live. And we're not going to let anyone mess that up by doing anything too obnoxious to get a bunch of superheroes here who are going to mess up our lives.
Okay.
You see, even supervillains embrace the idea of NIMBY.
Basically, yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, everyone knew that if you drew too much attention, then you were in danger of drawing in the capes. You were going to be shut down by the chamber. But then suddenly a whole bunch of superpowered criminals, seemed like now was the time that people could do what they want to. And I mean, Foe even attacked your boss out in broad daylight.
Hey, Ethan, ask him about Foe. I mean, this is technically the second recruitment drive or whatever that we've busted up.
Do you know why Foe's
Maybe you
being
get more
so?
info about that.
Do you know why Foe's being so gung ho in the recruitment process right now?
I mean, the reason I was auditioning for him before was because they had the pitch that they're gonna be the new powerhouse in town, and I thought I wanted to align myself to the winning side.
You thought?
Well, I mean, considering you've kicked my ass twice, I'm not 100% sure that Foe's going to end up on top.
You didn't have to do this when you got your powers. You could have been. You could have been like me.
Hero?
You could have been a hero.
No, I really couldn't.
You made this decision. What's your real name? I don't want to call you Captain Oblivion.
Morris.
Morris?
Ethan is going to try very hard not to bully him because his name is Morris.
Seth will say, please don't taunt the supervillain because of his name.
Morris, I know this world sucks. I know that. But you making it suck more doesn't make it better for anybody else. It doesn't make it better for you. You wound up here.
I mean, I got 3 square on a roof over my head.
You could have done that working with us.
Yeah, because a bunch of pretty people living up in the Emerald Tower were going to take me on with you. No, don't be ridiculous.
They took me in. I'm a bona fide geek. I thought I was a Jedi for the first month that I had my powers.
Yeah, but you also think that hurting people is wrong and you smell like you come from money.
Hurting people is wrong.
And he just very meaningfully wipes the blood off of his nose. Yeah, sure. Didn't take much for you to push your powers around to slam me into the table. You're not that different.
A text phrase pops up at the top of the screen and says, Ethan will remember that.
Okay, ethical dilemmas aside, we need more information about what went on here. And so far, you've really given us nothing. And can you tell us anything about the ninja that assaulted one of our team members, or anything else? Any recognizable figures, people acting suspicious before or during the breakout?
Sure. I mean, obviously I'd worked with Tarman and Trinity before, so, knew them. Cannon and I met here in the lockup, but I know that he was part of one of Foe's strike forces. Well, I noticed you didn't get his team.
No.
That will be rectified soon. That's not an issue.
Didn't get my girlfriend either, but we'll leave that for another day.
Was there
Your
a
girlfriend
rendezvous?
also didn't help you, did she?
Not yet.
Was there a rendezvous location that you were supposed to meet up once you escaped?
No. Dreadnought and Lord Quake said they were going to take us to where we were supposed to meet up. No one knew ahead of time.
Seems you all were abandoned rather quickly.
Foe wasn't interested in anyone who couldn't make it. We knew we weren't all going to get out.
So again, you really, okay. So those are your poor life decisions. We were just here for information. Would you like to move on to Cannon, seeing as he might be the one that has more information than this tier beta?
You go on without me, Carol. I want to talk to Morris for a second. I promise it's nothing crazy.
Carol just looks over at 8-Ball and shrugs and is like, it's up to you to watch him now. And she'll exit the room.
Mackenzie, 8-Ball will look at you and just kind of nod and step out of the room as well. I mean, the cameras are still on, but...
I feel like that's not going to mean much to Ethan.
Ethan's going to sit across from Morris.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of look him in the eyes and... Morris,
Go ahead. Just real quick. I am like, portal is on like a hair trigger to open a portal as soon as anything goes wrong.
All right.
Morris, I'm sorry for losing my temper. And I'm sorry I couldn't empathize with what you've gone through. It doesn't excuse what you've done. But if it's all right with you, I'd like to come visit you while you're here, and maybe we can talk about your life out there, and we can turn this around.
I could be open to that.
You don't have to... I'm a stormer like you. And there's no reason for you to go through this change alone when there's somebody else who can sympathize.
Is there anyone else in the room behind the two-way mirror?
I think most of us.
Yeah. That's where 8-Ball would have gone after leaving the room, so.
Okay. I don't know if you want to make them roll perception or what, but yeah, portal's on the verge of tears.
Okay. Morris seems to be at least considering what you had to say. You're not sure if you've gotten through to him or not, but he's at least not just rejecting you out of hand or, making snarky quips to you.
Seth will come across Ethan's comms and say, see if you can find out who serviced his cuffs the most.
I'll nod and I'll look at Morris and say, how do you feel about Magic the Gathering?
Can't say I've ever played.
I'll bring a couple decks and we can play next week.
Okay.
And I'll stand up. No, not Uno. I'm not a Cynthia. Morris, there's one thing I want to ask about the breakout.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who was the technician who was working on your power dampening gauntlets?
No.
Was it the same guy each time?
I mean, we had them issued to us every day. They would come around and swap them on us each day, but we never saw the text. It was just guards.
Okay. Thank you.
Was it the same guards every day?
Was it the same guards every day?
Not every day, but usually.
Okay.
I will turn to 8-Ball and say, can we find out who
Absolutely.
had hands on these, please?
Yeah, we'll look into that.
Portal's gonna walk out of the room. He's gonna try and find a bathroom.
I'll nod at Morris because I'm still wearing my mask, and I will say I'll see you on Wednesday.
Okay.
And I will leave the room.
Okay.
Harold just leans in close to him and goes, "Good job."
Thanks, Dr. Irons.
Cannon next.
I hate that guy.
Do you want to talk to Cannon, or do you think maybe Portal and I should talk to Cannon?
Who are you asking that to?
You, Dr. Irons.
Oh, okay.
He's a sexist douche.
Okay, yeah. I don't have the spoons for that today.
Portal, we're gonna go talk to Cannon whenever you're done in there.
All right, I'm coming out.
We'll go talk to
I will
Cannon.
also go in with them with Cannon, but I will wait for a few moments as they're getting all settled in, and just as they start to talk, I'm going to come in through the door like like an Imperial probe droid.
Oh God.
I was thinking like Agent Coulson.
The
when he's
interrogation
coming out.
droid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just
Welcome to level 7.
Are you
Just
gonna,
hang out in the
make
corner.
the noise? Are you gonna make the noise?
sure, I'll make the noise.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'll make the noise. Just hang out in the corner.
All right. Yeah, so Cannon also seated, also has power dampening cuff. And he's just sitting there very implacable.
Hey, Cannon. I want to know what you know
Portal
about
is very
Foe.
happy that. Portal is very happy that Cannon is not the observant kind.
Why don't you tell us about the breakout?
Stone Peter 457208916.
Okay, Jean Valjean, come on. I'm not a cop, man. I'm not your lawyer. Talk to me.
He just kind of lifts his chin in the direction of 8-Ball.
He's not a cop either.
He's ageist.
Look, okay, there's a new sheriff in town, okay? We're here to deal with foe. Anything you can tell us about it will help you in the long run.
You really think so?
I know so.
You know how many times some hero group has thought they've taken care of foe?
Is it more or less times than we've taken care of you?
Funny. More. Look. I know your type.
They keep saying that.
Telling you anything is only going to make sure that the big brain has no reason to help me. I can sit tight.
The big brain can't help you anymore.
You think that, really?
I think that you proved that you weren't powerful enough for Poe to be interested in you when you failed to escape.
Twice.
Well, first time was my own fault. I should have gone with that.
I'm pretty sure you've been knocked out in one hit both times.
Mm-hmm.
No. Cannon stuck around after Tempest portaled all the rest of his team away.
Hmm.
It was because we separated him from the herd.
Well, no, Cyber Knight said, get out of, everyone to
Yeah.
Tempest. He didn't listen to her order.
I'm not sure Foe has a lot of interest in fellas who
Can't follow
take
orders.
a hit, can't follow orders, can't take a hit, and can't escape when they've been handed the key on a silver platter.
Okay, you can think that.
Do you want to talk to the octopus about it? Because the octopus is a lot more persuasive than us.
Look. I appreciate that you all think you're the big heroes and you're the masters of this game. I've been playing it a lot longer. It's only a matter of time before Tempest comes to get me out of here.
I'm just saying, you've got a lot less than 8 orifices, and he's got 8 tentacles.
Then it is only a matter of time before you once again fail.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a mathematician, but
I am.
rescuing you just doesn't seem to be adding up.
Do we know who Tempest is?
Tempest? Yeah, Tempest, the Master of Time, was part of the group of
Okay.
that was with Cannon when he when they attacked Mars originally.
So you believe that a person to whom you showed such disregard and disrespect, that this person is going to come rescue you?
I never disrespected Tempest.
Did you not disobey orders?
He disobeyed Cyber Knight's orders.
Look, the brain made a
Look,
mistake putting her in charge and not me.
Look, all I'm saying is, unless
So,
you've got
when-
a significant other out there with more affection than for you than sense in their brain, nobody's going to be coming to pick you up.
So when he says the brain made a mistake, through my speaker, he will hear his voice repeat, the brain made a mistake. The brain made a mistake. The brain made a mistake.
And Keone is sitting in the observation room with the two-way glass and is just pushing her hands against the glass and slowly turning it to ice. Because she wants to stab.
Then it will stop for a moment. And Seth's voice will say, I wonder how the brain will feel about that. And then it will repeat with his voice, the brain made a mistake. The brain made a mistake. And then I will leave the room.
Carl just puts a hand on Keone's shoulder. Not telling you to stop or anything, just like, I'm right here with you. It's okay.
Oh, Carol and I, we're like the same.
Carol's about to get frostbite.
If you can think of anything useful to tell us with this new information in your head canon, let us know.
In your head cannon?
That's funny.
Yeah, I'll be all over that.
Yeah, and maybe, like, I don't know, maybe don't be a dick to women. That seems free. That's free advice from me to you.
You get the sense that he would give you finger guns, except that, the power dampening cuffs cover his hands.
I'm just saying. Next time, I don't know if I'll be able to stop Keone from freezing your nuts off.
Hey, Goblin Cave TV is giving us a raid.
Hey, we love Goblin Cave
TV. And for the record, I am going to make sure that recording gets to the channels where I think that Foe and the brain are most likely to pick it up.
Sure.
Because I want to think that will remove that option from the table for him.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll just we'll let him sit for a minute. Maybe when prison gets uncomfortable, he'll change his mind.
So that pretty much leaves you with Trinity in terms of people you can question who are going to be able to give you any useful information.
Yep.
Since
all right, let's question Trinity.
I'm taking this
I can
interrogation
question her on my own.
You guys go ahead.
Yeah, no, Ethan cannot go into that one. She hates you so much.
I got this one.
I'll go in with Peter.
Okay. We need useful information. We do not need to know her bra size.
I'll send a pic to Riley if you want it. She's really good at guessing.
You are not photographing prisoners. No.
She wasn't. Oh, no. We need to clarify something. She wasn't guessing. Keone left her bra there.
Yeah.
True.
Not wrong.
Yeah. So interrogation.
I'll say
Okay.
Ethan forgot that the size is written inside it, not Alex.
Fair.
So
all right,
when Ethan comes around the glass, because he's like, I'm not doing this interview because she hates him, Keone is going to weirdly feel the urge to hug him and like awkwardly hugs him and then like awkwardly turns around and looks back at the glass.
All right, so who's going in to interrogate Trinity? Obviously Portal, obviously Dr. Irons. What about Seth?
Yeah, I'll come in. I'll do my Imperial interrogation droid thing again.
Okay. So, not powered up, Trinity is just a very, very gorgeous young woman. And she looks as you guys come in and says, what do you want to know?
Oh, I'm gonna take a seat on the other side of the table from her. What information do you have to give?
I've got some, and I'm 100% willing to sing like a canary, and as long as you guys can offer something of a deal.
Okay. Well, I think that all depends on the information, and one large caveat that you cannot ever try to kill one of our team members that you seem to have a particular ire against.
Or anyone.
Well,
else.
okay, yeah, that rule. That's probably the better rule.
I've never killed him.
Is 8-Ball in the room?
Unless you told him not to. Yes.
Okay. So
I was hoping
will...
8-Ball was in here with me and Keone, just having our awkward standoff, looking through the glass.
Nope. I will turn to 8-Ball, just with the look of, that part's up to you. We don't have control over that.
Yeah. So he'll say, as far as we can tell, you haven't killed anyone. Your crimes are mostly restricted to this breakout and your audition, where there were agents injured, but it was mostly just property damage. There was one person killed, but that was by Oblivion. If what you have to say is useful, we can arrange for you to be transferred from here to a facility out of state. And, with good behavior, you could be out in 2 years. She thinks for a second. Ask away.
So what's your type?
Just of all the things, no, not right now. Not right now. What?
Tell us what you think is important.
Holy cow.
So...
Wait. Holy cow, thank you so much, Goblin Cave. Their rating with a party is 7.
Wow. Thank you, Goblin Cave.
Wow.
Thank you for coming to spend some time with us tonight. They've come to share the love. Their hearts are warm and fresh.
Aw.
Does that mean they pulled them out of somebody?
Now, I need you to know I can only
they're
eat cruelty-free hearts. Free range, organic, non-GMOs.
Anyhow. All right. So, after my powers manifested, I was hanging around Joy's. I worked there before the storm. And I was approached by a guy about whether or not I wanted to work for Foe. And I'd never heard of them, but apparently they've been around for a long, long time. And they basically they take a cut of your take, but in turn they help you hook up with other villains who can help try to time things so that various crimes are happening at the same time, splitting the attention of heroes, making it less likely that anyone will get captured.
So they're evil Uber.
And
Wait, that's redundant.
it sounded pretty good. And as soon as I said that I was interested, the guy just kind of glazed over and started hitting on me like he didn't even remember the conversation.
Was this Portal?
Yeah. You called yourself out just then.
What was that?
Portal just called himself out on his own behavior.
What? Wait a minute.
But,
Back up a second. You said his eyes just glazed over like he forgot.
And he went back to hitting on her.
Were you at Joy's when that happened?
Yeah. I said
Has that happened often at Joy's?
at Joy's? Not that I'd heard of. No.
Okay. Is there any connection that you know of between Joy's and Foe?
Directly? No, but I mean, Madame Joy definitely has all sorts of clients, especially in the upstairs. I'm sure there's something there, but
The
But
upstairs,
nothing you specifically.
the upstairs, to clarify, is the gentleman's club that
yes.
they went to and had
Yep.
that interesting night. Okay.
Yep. And had the exact same "we forget what happened" moment.
Yeah, but you all think you all were real drunk, so
Yes. Well, we did until Peter heard just that thing right there. Because Peter doesn't black out too often.
Yeah.
Peony does.
So is that a power of yours?
Making people black out? No.
Making people forget, or
No.
no?
I think that might be someone higher up than her.
Look, so
Recruiting people.
It sounds like it might be something that the big brain does.
right, from what I've heard, and I actually couldn't respond to you. You were talking to them over cons. From what I've heard from other people, the person in charge of Foe or people, I don't know, but they've got a real powerful telepath on them. And people get their instructions via telepathy, or I guess if I had to guess, I would say that the brain just grabbed some random dude to make the offer to me.
Okay.
What about any
I mean-
information on where they might be meeting beyond what we already received from the other inmates? Did you have any other information about time or location?
I knew that the breakout was going to happen today. So I heard a voice in my head telling me that the breakout was happening today. They didn't tell us what the rendezvous was, but from what Cannon told me one time that I was talking with him.
Oh God, you've talked with him more than once?
It's not uncommon that members of Foe would be told where the rendezvous was after they had made their escape through the brain's telepathy. You can't tell someone something you don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I do know that I can tell you who the people they sent here to do the breakout were.
Okay.
Please.
Yes.
So the guy in the armor, his name's Dreadnought. He's been part of Foe for rumor says as long as it's existed. He's not an inventor, he's a mercenary, but he steals high tech, and Foe helps him integrate it into that armor he uses.
he needs to learn a little more about that suit when he gets back from space. I'm sure he will.
Lord Quake, well, he's a nutball. He thinks he rules a kingdom underground. All evidence suggests that he's just deluded. but he thinks that Foe is going to help him build an army to retake his kingdom. But, you know, he's powerful, he's strong.
Okay, then.
And the other one who is here, his name's Nightblade.
The ninja.
That's the one with the very sharp sword.
Yes. Nightblade is part of the Phoenix Moon Society. But as far as I've heard, this is the first time he's ever operated in the US, but from what I hear, he's got a beef with someone in Chinatown.
Because yes, where else would he have a beef with someone?
Right. I don't know anything about the crime families operating out of that area. I mean, we certainly get some of their higher ranking members at Joy's, but I've never heard anything I shouldn't have heard.
So Knifeblade helped infiltrate the prison beforehand or during?
So he appeared in the hallway at just before Dreadnought blew open the ceiling. And he sliced open the cells and then vanished.
It's good at vanishing.
It's part of the reason he's been so hard to catch.
I wonder if he has some kind of teleport ability similar to Portal, and that's how he's able to boop into places.
Or he can turn invisible. I don't know.
Ask if he has a silver sword.
Do you happen to know what his sword is made out of? What makes it a knife blade?
Night blade.
Night blade.
Night blade. I heard knife blade, and I was like, well, that's a name.
I mean, you know, this universe does have people named Kid, so.
True.
I mean, me, Stabby McStab
Night
face.
blade. That's much better. That's a much better name. It have so much commentary out of character.
It looked like it was metal. I wish I could tell you I know metallurgy well enough to tell you what it was made of, but it was metal.
Mine, the only person with metallurgy is the skill.
Yes. When we're done here, you can inspect the locks that were sliced and see if you can find out.
Ooh, interesting.
So, is there anything else I can tell you?
Did you, other than the other people who were auditioning and who were here in the prison, did you ever meet anyone in Foe?
No, and I never met the other people who were auditioning until that day. Well, that's not true. I never officially met any of the other people who are auditioning. Oblivion wouldn't have remembered it, but he and his band played the downstairs at Joy's one night, and I was there.
Hold on. Oblivion has a band?
Of course he does.
Yeah, they're terrible. Like, really awful.
I'm gonna tuck that one away. Well, there is something else I was wondering. Aside from he's a telepath or she's a telepath, how did Big Brain know that in approaching you, you'd say yes and not like tip someone off?
Calculated risk, I'm guessing. I mean, I worked at Joy's. I probably was open to some less than legal activity.
Okay.
I'm looking
You're
for a
also
contingency bomb to go off in her head.
you're also assuming that she would remember saying no.
No, I'm not assuming that. That's very much a possibility. I'm just looking to see if there was anything else that I hadn't considered.
Also, until I said yes, they didn't really say anything that would help. So at that point, she'll look to 8-Ball and say, now, you're going to transfer me out of here, right? And she just kind of gestures, with a head nod. If they found out that I squealed, I'm dead. But I just want out of here. I'll serve my time. I'll get out, and I'll find another club to work at. I don't even need to use my powers. It's not worth it.
We could.
Because we'll make sure that you're safe.
We could.
Give her a communicator.
No. When we leave the room, I will say to 8-Ball, we could store her at the tower while the arrangements are being made.
Well, in the midst of the conversation, I'm going to look over to you and say, can we give her some kind of panic button? Because we can be here almost instantly.
I mean, I'm sure that can be arranged.
We can arrange either. You guys are certainly authorized to hold someone. Do you have cells in the tower?
Do
We got bedrooms.
I'm going to say, at the moment, no, you don't. But you do have workshops that are not currently being used.
And powered
Also,
ambling cuffs.
the practice room?
Yeah, you could also just keep her in the danger room.
We could turn that into a jail.
Yeah, we could.
Portal's room has enough handcuffs.
Yeah, but not the right kind.
So, I guess the real question is then, Trinity, do you want to come over to our place?
Oh, God.
Unfortunately, it's either he's going to be a creep about it and ask you, or would you feel comfortable staying at the tower with us? Or would you like to go to another penitentiary?
Well, while we're waiting to transfer you, because that's going to take time.
Yeah.
Willing to go wherever I'll be safe.
We'll keep you safe. We don't want anyone invading the tower, right? That's not a good thing.
No.
As long as you stop giving out numbers.
All right. Well, then, it is almost 10. So I feel like you guys have probably got all the information you're going to get out of interrogating the prisoners.
Wait. Trinity, you didn't answer my first question. What's your type?
Carol's just going to slug him in the arm.
Ow.
Just like... Stop it.
I hope she says Carol.
I hope so too.
I hope she says me.
I normally go for
Don't need to
ones
answer
who are a little bit older than I am, but I'm suddenly having a real strong attraction to Korean women.
Good choice. All right, so we'll make arrangements and we'll get you safely to the tower.
All right.
Blonde Korean women, I guess.
I am.
Does
Yeah, no, I have the thing on, so I don't
Yeah,
look
does your-
Korean anymore. I look like ambiguous white.
Oh, that's right,
Yeah.
you do.
Look like ambiguous white woman.
Still have like instead of
The
it being
basic.
blonde hair, it's still like dark hair, but that short cropped off cut.
Ah,
Yeah, we can create woman.
All right. So as our heroes head back to the tower, I think we are going to go ahead and wrap up there for the evening. Nice work, heroes. You done as good as you could with overwhelming odds.
you did all right. It's okay. Nobody.
No, in all seriousness, you guys had overwhelming odds against you. You did really good. I'm super proud of my players. And hey, we get to wait a little longer to find out what's going to happen between Tommy and Peter.
This is the
I'm
opposite of what I
sure
wanted to
it's
happen.
fine. I'm sure Portal won't head back to the tower in tears.
All right. So around the rest of our network, we will have a new blog post up over at untoldstoriesproject.com on Thursday. I believe this week is going to be another entry by Alex. And then shortly thereafter, we'll have something from Keone. And
It's very good. Very good.
It's very good. On Friday, any of our new episodes from YouTube will be posted to our website, including the finale of our Suicide Squad game. Our Gen Con one shot that lasted what, 5 sessions?
Look, okay, you know, I'm going
next
under the table this time.
next week, on Monday, we have the finale of Nether War. So do make sure to come back for that. That crew is going to be back on the network and the new Starhaven game, which I forget the title of.
Guardians of Haven.
Guardians of Haven. And I would be very surprised if the Nether War, if Freedom League Dark does not make another appearance somewhere in the Untold Stories Project Earth Prime tabletop universe.
Those of them who live, that is.
Well, next Tuesday, back on this channel at this time, I will not be here because it's my 19th wedding anniversary. So instead, you can come back as our players provide a recap of the past 20-some episodes, and they will also be answering questions from the audience. So you can either jump onto our Discord server, the link of which should be visible down below here. Or just come next week and drop your questions into the chat. And it'll be interesting to see what they say when I'm not there to stop them. So.
When have you ever been able to stop us?
Yeah.
I mean,
He
Fair.
almost suffocated me with a
when I'm not
Tarman
there to
today,
correct
okay?
you.
Don't provoke him.
and by us, I mean them.
Right. And I will, however, be back the following week as we continue with the Emerald City Knights campaign in the City of Destiny. Heroes, does anyone have anything else they would like to plug? I will toss it to Alex.
Yeah, the only major thing is if you are a member of the Mutants Masterminds Patreon, which is at patreon.com/mutants and masterminds, A-N-D instead of the ampersand, we do a monthly actual play with the Mutants Masterminds developers, which are me, Crystal Frazier, and Steve Kenson. So this March 12th, I will be running the one-shot over there, and it will definitely be a one-shot because work said so. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a high PL adventure where the heroes are going to be tangling with Omega and Tarvon the Undying for a couple of blank pages of the source book. So it's going to be a PL-14 adventure. It's going to be a mess. So come be a mess with me. It'll be fun. I believe that's limited to tier 3 patrons for the selection to be in the game. So head over there if you're interested. I'll pass it over to Wiki.
I got nothing. Read a book. Haha.
Hey.
And I will pass it down to Joe.
No, I got nothing either. Stay hydrated. And that means water, not more soda or coffee. No, water, hydration. Yes. Okay, take care of yourselves. On Puppy. Wait, which way are you?
That's me. I don't have anything. Just play a game. So I will pass it to Portal.
Thanks everyone for sticking by with whatever image they have in my stead. I'm afraid to ask. And I would say that keep an eye out. There also will be a blog post sometime in the coming weeks, depending on how long it takes me to edit it, featuring an important conversation between Portal and Carol while they were out shopping for clothes. And I will pass it back to our GM.
I just want to say thank you for coming, spending some time with us, and hope that you found us half as entertaining as I found our players. And I will not see you next week, but hopefully you'll be here next week, and I'll see you in 2. Bye.
Also, huge shout out to Goblin Cave TV for rating us.
Yeah!
You're awesome.
Yes, thank you, Goblin Cave TV.
Thanks so much for stopping by, everyone.
And
We
next,
enjoy being rated.
Yes.
And next Wednesday, we're doing our Cthulhu Awakens one-shot. I forgot to mention that. It's actually a
part
two-shot.
The first part of our Cthulhu Awakens 2-shot. It is not a one-shot by design.
Yeah.
Fake. Sounds fake. All right, we're going away now. Bye, everybody.
Bye.